Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you on here, and I hope you guys can try these mandalas and have a fun time doing it. So before we get started on the mandala design, I'm going to explain our tools. So the tools I use are color-coded, so they have a color on the top of the tools. When you buy them off of Temu or Amazon, they usually just come clear. So first off, for the twirly tools, I do not use the green twirly for any of my tutorials, so you can set this one aside. As for the rods, the largest two rods, I, again, also do not use for any of my tutorials, but if you're doing like a bigger project on your own time, then of course you can use these. So now to help you understand what I have color-coded, you can lay them out biggest to smallest. The biggest one, which is the green one, next size down, we have it marked as the blue stick. And then next size down after the blue is the white stick. After the white stick, it's the yellow stick. And then we have the pink stick. And then last but not least, trying to pick them up, is the black stick. And then of course we have the twirlies. These are self-explanatory. They are color-coded already. You can color code them yourself. We use just nail polish on the tops of the tools. We can get started with the design now. So for today's class, I'm going to be using this color palette. Paint color number 1 is Craft Smart Natural Buff. Paint color number 2 is Deco Art Americana Wild Berry. Color number 3 is Craft Smart Metallic Rose. Paint color number 4 is Craft Smart Multi-Surface Crisp Blue. Paint color 5 is Craft Smart Metallic Blue Ice Pearl. And paint color number 6 is Craft Smart Multi-Surface Metallic Radiant Gold. So for the first practice, and you guys just can open up any paint color that will be visible on your sheet of paper. So for the first step, we're going to use the pink stick and the pink stylus. Using the pink stick, we're going to dip into the paint about this much. So you don't want to dip just the edge, but you want to over dip just a bit. Then you'll place a dot. Then you'll take the pink stylus, the smaller end, and drag the paint down to make a teardrop.
The smallest end?
Mm-hmm. And then you can also use the pink stylus smaller end to kind of smooth out the edges here a little bit, so just it creates a smoother finish. Okay, moving on to the next design, we're going to use the same tools. Once again, starting with the pink stick, you'll dip into the paint and place a dot. Then you can set that aside onto the paper towel. Then you'll take the pink stylus, the bigger end, and you're going to place a dot above the big one. So like a snowman with a very small head. Then you'll switch to the smaller end of the pink stylus, dip into the paint, and then without re-dipping, you're gonna dot halfway around, dip again, start at the top, and go around again. And this design is called Walking the Dots, so that's what I will refer to it as when we start painting. For the next design, we're gonna use the white stylus. So you guys can go ahead and wipe your tools on the paper towel. Then we'll take the white stylus. We're gonna use the bigger end. And for this, you wanna make sure you get a lot of paint on your tool. So I like to swirl it around in my paint. You want a nice big glob on there. And then you'll place it on your sheet of paper and slowly drag. And then if it comes out too short, you just start at the beginning and just keep retracing it until you get your desired length. So for the next design, we're gonna use the white stylus smaller end. And we're gonna be kind of still using this swishing technique. So we're going to make just straight drags up and down, basically kind of like a zigzag, trying to get as close as possible without actually touching.
The smaller end?
Yes, smaller end. Okay, so we are all done with the practice, so we're gonna jump into painting the seashell. So the first section that we're gonna do is this first spiral right here. We are going to do this zigzag pattern that we practiced. So we're gonna use the white stylus, smaller end, and we're gonna be using paint colors 5 and 2. So we're going to alternate colors, and so that you don't have to wipe your tool each time you change color, you can also use the pink stylus bigger end because that's the same size. So just choose a tool for the assigned color, and you'll drag up with one.
The smaller end of the white one and the bigger end of the pink one?
Yes.
Okay, and you said which colors?
2 and 5.
Smaller end of the white one. Straight up or at an angle?
You can do straight up because as the shell curves, it'll start getting curvy anyways. So,
And bigger. Okay.
yeah.
2 and 5. See how she's alternating? So you do blue and then purple. Yeah, just.
And where you're gonna stop is at the, if you flip your shell in the back, just kind of create an imaginary line just down the middle. You can even, if you want, like put a dot there for yourself. That's where you're gonna stop. So you'll follow this spiral around, and then stop at the back, because we want the next section is gonna be slightly different. So we want that empty. Okay, moving on to the next spiral section. For the first step, we're gonna take the black stick and paint color 6, and we're just gonna make a row of gold dots all the way around.
Gold dots?
Yep,
Number 6.
Number 6.
number 6, yes.
Sorry, Mom, you want me to help you out?
Okay, once you've got all those dots, we're going to once again do these drags. So this is why you got an extra white stylus, because we're going to use the bigger end of the white. And we're going to use paint colors 1 and 4. So I like to start the swooshies that are going down up in between my dots like this. It creates like a nice kind of seat for them to go in between.
Oh, that's nice. You got it, Mom?
No.
1 and 4. So you're using different color paint, so that's why she gave you an extra white.
Large end, use 2, 1 and
Yeah.
4.
Yes, large end.
Okay, do you think we're pros now or something?
Okay, so now moving on to the last little section. We're going to actually continue these gold dots at the bottom. So with the black stick and paint color 6, just continue placing dots all the way around.
You can finish when you got the Did you go all the way to where it ends?
Yeah.
Where are we going now?
Okay.
Just follow that gold line and it should lead you just
Okay.
to the bottom of the shell. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stick with paint color 5, and we are going to be placing dots above the gaps of the gold dots, and we're going to do every other gap. So you should have like 2 gold dots in between each of these dots that we're placing.
And do the pink.
Okay, next step, we're going to take the pink stylus. We're going to use the smaller end with paint color 2. So with the smaller end, we're going to place 3 dots above our dots like that. And then starting at the bottom next to the gold dots, we're going to do 2 small little drags on each side.
Oh, it's so good. Bravo.
Oh, man, I just touched it again. Should've been looking.
Yes. What time is that at glasses?
Okay, moving on to the next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus, smaller end with paint color 1. And we're just gonna place 4 dots in between our designs. Just 4 dots in this diamond shape. And try to make it as level with the designs we have going. Try for it not to be taller or higher than
You don't want it to.
the dot.
Okay.
Advice.
Okay, next step, we're going to take the yellow stick with paint color 4, and we're gonna start on this side of our spiral that's next to the bottom of our seashell. And we're going to basically make dots going around. So I will put maybe, I don't know, 7 of these dots with the yellow stick, and then I'll move down to the pink stick. And basically we're gonna be doing kind of like a gradual from bigger to smaller kind of thing. Okay?
Nice. So we start on the bigger side and then we're working.
Yes. So you'll do the yellow stick and then the pink stick, black stick, and then for those final super small dots, you'll take the blue stylus and just dot, 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 the finishing.
Okay, you start with the what stick?
The yellow stick.
The yellow stick and go.
I forgot that there's 7.
How far down till we change sticks?
She has like 7 dots.
I think I have
Is it 2 by 2?
I have 8 dots. I put 8 dots.
What number was it?
4.
8 or 4. Oh.
Okay, well, I just now finished my other dots.
So the amount of dots I put, so for the yellow stick, I did 8 dots. For the pink stick, I did 5. And for the black stick, I did 7. And then for this last little gap here, I'm just taking the blue stylus. And
Okay, I'm gonna need to write that down.
and then you'll basically do that same thing for another 2 rounds. Yeah, I think we could fit another 2 rounds. So the next one will be paint color 5, and that last one will be paint color 3.
Offsetting them. Okay. You said color 3.
Yes, color 3. 7. And also for that last row of dots, don't follow the pattern that I gave you. Just look at the size the gap that's left, and just place dots according to that. So now we're gonna get started on the mandala part over here. For the first dot, we're gonna use the blue stick with paint color 2. And we're just putting it kind of on the very top of the bump. So just make sure it's not too close to this first slice here, just kind of in the middle. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stylus, the smaller end with paint color 1. And we're going to place 4 dots to make sure our design starts off symmetrical. So 2 dots across from each other like that. And then you'll find the center of those 2, put a dot to the side like that, and then 1 more dot across from that one, so that we get these 4 dots, north, south, west, east. And then once we have those 4 dots, staying with the same size and same color, in each gap, we're gonna place 3 dots. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stylus bigger end with paint color 4, and we're placing these dots above the gaps. Next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus once again with the bigger end and paint color 6, and basically doing the same thing, putting these dots above the gaps of our previous row. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white stylus with the bigger end, and we're gonna use paint color 3. And once again, putting these dots above the gaps.
Bigger end.
Yes. Next step, we're gonna take the black stick with paint color 5, and we're gonna place these dots above the gaps, but skipping every other gap. So you should end up with 8 of these dots. Next up, we're gonna take the white stylus, and we're gonna do paint color 4. With the bigger end, we're gonna place 2 dots like this, and then you'll switch to the smaller end and place 2 dots to the side so that we get these 4 dots in like a diamond shape. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink stick with paint color 2, and we are gonna put these dots above the 4 dots we just made. Next step, we're gonna take the pink stylus with paint color 1, starting with the bigger end. We're going to place a dot below or above, however you're looking at it. And then you'll switch to the smaller end and walk the dots around like we practiced.
We got this one.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stylus, paint color 6. Once again, starting with the bigger end for that first dot, and then smaller end for the dots around.
You said 6.
Yes,
So we're walking our dog around those ones.
yes.
Okay, good number 6.
Next step, we're gonna take the white stylus with paint color 5, using the bigger end for the first dot and then smaller end going around. Yes, white stylus.
With which color?
5.
Are we just doing the same thing?
Mm-hmm. Next up, we're gonna take the white stylus, again, with paint color 3, and we're gonna walk the dots one more time, but instead of changing to the smaller end, you're just going to re-dip in the paint and go around with the bigger end. Next up, we're gonna take the white stylus, smaller end, with paint color 4. And we are going to start in between, so here's the first, second, and third dots. We're gonna start in between the second and third. And we're going to do a small drag down and in between.
You said small size?
Yes. Next up, we're gonna take the black stick and the pink stylus, and we're gonna use paint color 6. We're going to place a dot in between our drags, a bit higher than our swooshes are. Then you're gonna use the smaller end of the pink stylus and drag the paint down in between. And then you'll switch to the bigger end and do 2 small drags on each side. I'm sorry?
With what color?
6.
Alright, so let me see how to do.
We're going to use the yellow stick and paint color 2. And we're gonna put these dots right below our teardrops. Next up, we're gonna take the pink stylus with paint color 4, and we're going to walk the dots around. So bigger end for the first dot, and then smaller end to go around.
Pink stylus, that which color?
4. Next up, we're gonna take the white stylus with paint color 6, bigger end for that first dot and smaller end to go around. Next up, we're gonna take the white stylus with paint color 1, using the bigger end for the first dot and to go around. So you're not switching to the smaller end.
Which color?
1. Next up, we're gonna take the blue stylus with paint color 5, and we're going to do one more round of walking the dots. So bigger end for that first dot and bigger end to go around.
The blue stylus?
Yes. Okay, next up, we're gonna take the white stylus and the pink stick, and we're gonna use paint color 2. So starting with the white stylus, bigger end, we're going to start from the second and third dots from the walking the dots. And this is a pretty big drag, so make sure you have a lot of paint on your tool. And we're gonna go down towards the middle to this top dot of the, yes. And then with the pink stick, you're going to place a dot like that, a little bit higher from where we put our swishes, and then drag that paint out to a teardrop. If you have big gaps in between, like I do here, you guys can take the white stylus bigger end with paint color 3 and just kind of walk the dots right in between there, just to kind of fill in that space. And for the very last step, if you want to fill in this space that's here, you can make some stars. I'm going to be using paint color 5. So to make stars, you're going to take the white stylus, bigger end, place a dot, and then with the pink stylus, smaller end, you kind of drag out the paint a little bit in 5 points. Kind of like that. And I like to think of it as a head, 2 legs, and 2 arms, just to kind of space it out evenly. And then I also added just a couple little gold dots with the pink stylus just to kind of bring it all together. And that was the last step, so you guys can take your time to finish up, but other than that, we're done.
Thank you.